it sounds okay. Probably going to be a bit of road noise. I'm still in Angeles, and I'm out of coffee. I just realized I'm out of coffee. Um, but I wanted to tell a few stories because I had some funny things happen, remind me of some stories. So I'm just going to sit here and tell a few stories. I'll get into chat later. But where to start, where to start, where to start? I think the way to start this story is to go back a few years. And I'm walking by this park, kind of in a parking lot adjacent to a park. It's early morning. I'm out there shooting some video of the trash that needs to be cleaned up, and kind of making plans in my head, thinking about how am I going to help get this park cleaned up. It's really frustrating me. It's just trashed out, like so trashed out. It's unbelievable. And I've had a couple of unhoused individuals, homeless motherfuckers, right? Come up and threaten me for even being there because this is their neighborhood. This is their. They were claiming ownership of the park. They didn't want me to clean it up, right? Total tweaker, crackheads. Uh, but they didn't want me cleaning up the park. So I'm there a while and I'm walking back and forth, and this gentleman comes walking at me, and I didn't know if he's just going like where I'm at or if he's coming to see me. I didn't recognize him, and so I'm a little on edge. And so I, change course a little bit. I'm walking, and so I alter my course, and he alters his course. I try one more time, and he's on an intercept course, and he's still 20 meters away, right, 30 meters away. And so I kind of ignore him, and he gets up and he's like, "Are you Jeff? Are you Jeff?" And I'm like, I get a little defensive, and I had a video going recording him in case anything happened, and I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I saw you on TV last night," and I'm like, "I was on TV last night?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw you on TV," and he's all still like wound up, and I'm like, "Where?" Like, he's like, "The city council meeting was on TV, and you were on TV, and da 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 da." And he's fired up. Like, I'm still like, how's this gonna go? And I'm like, okay, so do we have a problem here, or what's going on? He's like, no, I need your help. I need your help with this. And he had a area that was kind of trashed out by his house. He wasn't getting any response, and he saw me being effective with the city, so you know he asked for my help, and I didn't do much to help him, but he got the area behind his house cleaned up, and it all went away. But that was the first time like anybody came up and just like you know called me out when I had no clue who they were, and it really set me on edge. I've always been kind of a not seeking the limelight. I don't like you know I'm never like I was never the cool kid, right? I was always the kid in the back of the line. I was always the kid picked last, and that's okay. Like, I was happy with that. I didn't need to be the star on the team. I just wanted to be on the winning team, and that's who I am. I'm totally happy with that. And you know, there are times when you have to step forward and be in front of the pack, and there are times when you can just run with the pack, right? And I like running with the pack. You know, it's just who I am. But last night, I'm sitting in a bar. Of course, I'm in Angeles City, right? Having a cocktail, talking with a waitress, and this guy comes up, and waitress introduced us. And he shakes my hand, and he's got my hand, and he's got a death grip on my hand. Like, this is like a Mack truck of a man, literally like a Mack truck of a man. And he's like, "You look familiar," and he squeezes a little, right? Now I'm in no shape to squeeze his hand because it was like a goddamn gorilla hand. It was just, I mean, I'm not saying that to be derogatory. It was just a big like like, and the fingers are huge, right? Just like, and I've known people like that. I knew a guy like he grabbed a cop by the arm right here, had the nightstick in one hand, grabbed a cop by the arm, and was able to put the cop into a pain submission hold just by squeezing his forearm. That's like, and that's the same vibe I got from this guy last night. There's no fighting those people. There's making them happy and running. and hopefully you can run farther and faster than. But it's usually not the case either, right? And I'm sitting there, and he keeps going off. He's like, "I recognize you. I recognize you." And then he says, "Are you that YouTube guy?" I'm not joking. I nearly shit my pants. Like I had a little Hershey squirt going on there, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And my first thought was, and I said it, "Are you gonna punch me in the face?" Because I really don't want to lose any more teeth, right? So if you're gonna punch me in the face, like, can we negotiate this? and and he was like, "No, no." And he had some very nice things to say. It was a really nice gentleman. Probably, I didn't talk to him much. He was busy. I was busy, but he struck me as probably one of the nicest guys you'll meet. But it's just funny, when you do get called out. And then this morning, I woke up to a reminder that there are some really uh, not so great people that hang out in Angeles City. I'm trying to figure out how to say it more politely, but it is what it is, right? Angeles City does attract everybody, including the worst and the best. And the ironic thing is, I had all this happen, right? And yesterday, I'm sitting here and I meet a gentleman, and he just happened to stop by here randomly, first time in a few months. He had some breakfast, and after he was done, we struck up a little bit of conversation, and he was like the perfect success story. And to me, the gentleman I met sitting here at breakfast was more the expat I envisioned in Angeles City, and less the expat you hear about, you see, or you interact with when you come here. And that's why I keep going back to Poppy's Bar and Chill. But Poppy's attracted those more normal people, right? And this gentleman, I don't want to give away everything, but he moved here from Canada, found a girlfriend, happily, engaged with that, has a child, newborn, happily, like everything is going to plan, right? He's secure, stable, everything is going great. He came here, created his second life exactly how he wanted it, and it's all working great. And it doesn't involve any of these girls down here, it doesn't involve any of these bars, doesn't involve any of these toxic people on YouTube running around filming girls. And he just wanted a different life. And he came here, recreated it himself, and he's super prosperous, super, successful in everything he's doing. And it just those are the most of the expats. I believe that's the majority of the expats that are here. I think there's a lot more tourists that come and go, right? But I think the majority of the expats here, you'll never see, meet, or even know they're here because they're busy living their lives. They're happy, and Angeles City is attractive not because of the bar scene, but because of its proximity, because of its location to everything, right? It's access to anything, right? You can get pretty much anything you want in Angeles City. It wasn't true maybe 10, 15 years ago, but the way imports and Amazon work now, it's all pretty reliable. And then you have the airport. So if you want to go anywhere in the Philippines, the airport is so fast in and out, it's just amazing. But when I think of expats in the Philippines, expats in Angeles City, he's the type of expat that I envision. Not the guy living here for the bars or the girls, the guy living here for all the good qualities this city has once you leave this neighborhood. And he doesn't live in the neighborhood, right? He just dropped into, they have good food here, right? They have really good food here. Um, and so I just wanted to kind of, you know, add a juxtaposition or whatever you say, however you say that. Like, everything you see online is probably kind of true, but it's never the full story. It's never the whole story. And I think every once in a while we need to remind people that, what you see here is never the whole story, right? And while, we all talk about the bad or evil people, or a lot of people talk about, I'm trying not to, but, um, it's like the gentleman at the bar I met last night, you know, he was a great guy. Like everything, I saw him interact with the waitresses. The waitresses all loved him, and they all spoke so highly of him. And these are waitresses I've known for a few years. So, there's no reason for me to even question their opinions, right? Their opinions, they see hundreds of guys. a year, thousands of guys a year, right? So they can sort out who's good and bad really quickly. Always tip your waitress. But yeah, it's just kind of funny to me because you look at all the hype on the internet and this and that, and the reality is there's a lot of really great people floating around this city. You may just never know it or meet them or see them because they're busy with their life, right? And there's no real good collection point for um, more successful, not financially, not this, but just like in life general, more happy, like stable expats to hang out and you know bump into each other. And that was kind of one of the conversations that we were having is like, if you meet a girl from the province and you take her to the city, how many friends does she have? McLovin. Oh, I have so many stories about these SF guys. I remember there was a guy in Subic and he kept telling me he was British Special Forces. Holy smokes. And he was getting out of hand and I was a little inebriated. And so I stood up and I'm like, let me see. And no Special Forces person I ever met would ever, one, I don't know how many Special Forces people or Special Operations people, you anybody's met, but the people I've met, they're pretty damn intelligent. Like you can't get through that course without having a fast twitch brain, right? You can't do what they do without being pretty quick on your feet, pretty smart, pretty sharp. And when you meet somebody who's like struggling to read this coffee cup, struggling to get those words out, you're like, I don't really think you were SAS. It doesn't matter how many times you were blown up. It just no. And no scars. Like if you're blown up 10 times and no scars, okay, everybody stood on a firecracker when they were a kid. I'm sorry you're counting that as being blown up, but it happens, right? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of put it out there that, what you see and what reality is, it's not always the same. There's always a common ground to quote should be president, Miss Kamala Harris. It's a Venn diagram, right? You got to love the Venn diagram. There's always a little overlap, right? There's always a little overlap. But I think bad people, good people. And the Venn diagram is like that, right? I didn't do that very well, but that's my opinion. And I'm going to go work off this hangover and I hope you all have a great day. Um, but yeah, it is funny. You still have to watch your phone. You still have to be careful. You still have to be, this isn't the super safe playground it used to be. Uh, when I first came here, I didn't have to worry about my safety. Now you have to worry about it a little bit. And because I poked the bear, I got to worry about some dumb chucklehead who wants to, stand up for his guy. So anyway, I hope y'all have a great day. Life is really good. And for me, life is really good. And I hope, if your life isn't, we can sort out a way to get you there. Take care. Bye bye.